Welcome into the show, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in. Greatly appreciate all of you for making Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports a part of your day. I am your host, Chase Sr., and there's a lot to talk about with this basketball team right now. It's crazy, right? The fun Sixers are the Sixers where the bench players were really rallying around one another. The very difficult to watch Sixers, it's the Sixers team with James Harden, Joel Embiid, and we'll see what happens with Tyrese Maxey coming back. This team continues to be very, very frustrating. So with that, could they try to make some roster additions? Could they look to make a trade to just change the vibe of this team that is sloppy, doesn't seem to be prepared? And Doc Rivers got the most out of those fun bench Sixers, but when the star players are active, this team continues to be dumbfounding and play a confusing style of basketball. So let's start with this. Jonathan Isaac has been hurt the last couple of years, but when this guy is right, long, lengthy, athletic, good defender, he can do a couple of nice things offensively. Could the Magic's injured forward help the Sixers when he does come back off that ACL surgery that he's had some difficulties with? This is a trade idea thrown out there by Mike O'Connor, writes to Ricky Sanchez podcast, been a Sixers insider for a little while. And he posed this one, taking a look at the Sixers receiving Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris, Terrence Ross. So outside of Isaac, you're getting good bench players. And good might be using that term a little bit lightly because Harris is a little bit spotty. Terrence Ross is as well. The Magic would be receiving Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and a 2027 second-round pick. This, in my opinion, is a trade to just change things up for the Sixers. If things have gotten just too stale to a point where a roster shakeup needs to happen. What Isaac brings to the floor when he's right, when he's healthy, he really does have unique and uncommon size and length. He's a versatile defender who can defend multiple positions. I like his scoring ability. Not much of a handle, but good enough, and could certainly make plays happen at different levels on the floor. Major health concerns, though, with that surgery that he just hasn't been able to come back, and when is he going to come back and be 100% is obviously the looming question here. Now, I'll tell you this. If a trade does happen, if any transaction move happens, we're going to cover it here on 76ers Now. Make sure you subscribe for the best Sixers coverage year-round. And again, we're going to continue to ramp up our coverage as things become a little bit more spicier in NBA circles. So here's Mike O'Connor talking about this trade. Isaac, when healthy, unbelievably dynamic defensive player who can lock up the on-ball guy and fly around the court cleaning up mistakes off the ball. In terms of raw ability, he's an incredible fit on this roster. And if he's the player that he was in 2019-2020, he would start on this team hands down. But obviously, questions about his health and general makeup should come into play. Is the general makeup because he was against the vaccine? If that's the case, I couldn't care less. That's fine with me. Hasn't played, though, and this is the big issue for me. The injury issues. Has not played since the 2019-2020 season. And back then, you look at his numbers here, he could shoot the three a little bit. And given that size and that length, and that athleticism, intriguing qualities to his game, that year he was really starting to come into his own. 12 points per game, sub-7 boards, 47% from the floor is just fine, and 34% from three, given his style, is also pretty solid. Could Philly get something close to what Isaac did in 2019-2020? Those are the conversations that if this trade were to ramp up, if it were to happen in general, that Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, or at least the shadow of Elton Brand would certainly talk about in a potential trade for Jonathan Isaac. So I want you all to sound off right now. Down below in the comment section, this is YouTube. Treat it like a sports talk radio call-in line, though. T for trade, N for, nah, man, Jonathan Isaac, those injury concerns, way too much of a concern for this basketball team. Let me know down below. Today's show is presented by Fetch. You can turn your receipts into free gift cards. What, Chase? What are you talking about? Yes. You scan your receipts with Fetch by taking a simple picture. You turn them into free gift cards because you get points back for all of those receipts that you scan. Free download at chatsports.com/Fetch. This is an app that It's really just changed my life in general because I'm a big fan of it for a couple of reasons. It's free. It allows you to scan your receipts and earn points that can be redeemed for gift cards to your favorite stores, restaurants, and online retailers. Super easy to use. You use the app to snap a photo of your receipts from a purchase from any store, and you click the e-receipt option, and Fetch can connect you to your Amazon account, and you'll earn points for all shipped orders. So download the free app here, and if you scan your first receipt by using our link down below, chatsports.com/fetch, you get 5,000 bonus points back. That's the equivalent of a free $5 gift card, which you can use to places like Amazon, Target, Starbucks, and Walmart. We'll put that link in the comment section as well as the description of this video. It's also on the pinned comment. James Harden, what is his future going to be in Philadelphia? He comes back against Houston. I thought this was really telling, and we have some Houston folks here inside the office at Chat Sports because we're based in Dallas, and I thought it was pretty telling that Harden makes his return from injury against the Houston Rockets on the road. Barely anybody showed up for that game. Now, a lot of legendary basketball players, athletes in general, anytime they return home, doesn't have to be the first time, anytime they come back home, everybody shows up and shows out. Like when Allen Iverson returned, everybody was like, oh my gosh, AI is back, let's ride. Nobody showed up for James Harden. The exit has a lot of people feeling some type of way. His future in Philly, I feel some type of way about. NBA Insider saying Harden likely to decline his player option. And I thought that the offense looked awful against Houston. I don't care it's his first game back. He played poorly, and the Sixers lost to a bad Rockets team in 2 overtimes. I talked to start the show about how this team is so frustrating. That's why. Western Conference executive on the beard seemed like they had a handshake deal in July, Harden in Philadelphia. He made room for P.J. Tucker and Danuel House. I think he'll be back next year in Philly at a higher price. But let's pose this question here for our audience. Is James Harden worth an increased price tag? At this age, with injuries stacking up, with the play declining, him not being a good cultural fit, in my opinion? Hell no. Is he worth a higher price tag? No chance. Let him walk. Get a better player, build this team around Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, and nothing is going to really change my mind. I've never been a big Harden guy. I accepted the trade at the time last year because you got rid of a player in Ben Simmons who wasn't even playing for James Harden, and what do you know? Comes through in the playoffs with another no-show. This year, 22 points per game, fine. 10 assists, fine. Rebounds, nearly 7. That's okay too. He always does this though. He's always putting forward a lot of statistics. Does it result in wins nowadays? Field goal percentage, not nearly as good enough at 41%. Three-point percentage better than last year at 34%. We'll see if that tails off. Eric Pincus with this. $134 million cap projection for Philadelphia. Harden could re-sign with the Sixers for up to $47 million. Sorry, I just threw up. While many competing teams wonder if Philadelphia works with the Joel Embiid and Harden pairing, they probably aren't likely to clear cap space to make a failed run at the veteran guard. If you're the general manager of a team looking to steal Harden away from the Sixers, don't even bother. Well, don't even bother because this is Daryl Morey's lost son, and he loves himself some James Harden on the basketball floor, of course. And you look at Joel Embiid's numbers with and without Harden. It's very interesting. With Harden, his numbers are down because the usage rate for James Harden is so extraordinarily high. Again, I think this team is a better basketball team when it's built around Joel Embiid as well as Tyrese Maxey. With Harden, 31.2 points per game, nearly 12 rebounds, 52% from the floor, 38% from three. Without him, the three-point numbers go down. So too does the field goal percentage. But everything seems to just operate a little bit more flawlessly. Points per game go up. Rebounds go down just a tad. The assist numbers go way up without James Harden for Joel Embiid because he just gets to have more control of the offense and there's better ball movement. Why I haven't liked Harden for a long time? Dribbles out the rock until there's 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and then everybody's just standing around. It's not good execution basketball. So with that, let's pose this question for you. Do you want James Harden back next year? Be honest with me in the comment section, And don't be scared to be honest, because if you're scared, you're a fraud. B for back, G for gone, and if you're a loyal subscriber here to 76ers Now, type squad. I can't wait for things to start getting a little bit more juicy on the Sixers streets, and when it happens, you don't want to miss our coverage.